Hello, Trish here from Fat Lady Crochet, and today we're going to work on a really super cute beginner project. This is a really nice, simple, quick, and easy crochet project, and you come out with this really cute little planter pot cover. So I don't want to tip it too much because I don't want my aloes to fall out. So I'm just going to scooch these guys out of the way, and then we'll talk about the materials you need. So I'm using my J-hook, my 6mm J-hook. Of course, we need scissors. We need these little pots, and I found these were 3 for $1.25 at my dollar store, which was such a good deal. They're small, but they're great for little pots. I mean, for little plants. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab one. And what else do we need? We need some yarn, obviously. So what I'm using right now today, I've got some scrap, quite bulky yarn, and then I've also got some this old sort of this is a worsted weight, but what I'm going to do with this one is I'll double it up, but I'll just get these out of the way for now. And you're going to need some glue, and I really like this glue. It's nice and sticky, and the one thing that is good about these pots, by the way, is that they're not totally smooth. They're a little bit abrasive. So they kind of seem to catch the glue a little bit. So that's a great thing. So I'm just going to put all of these aside. You'll also need a little bit of scrap pink yarn and a little bit of scrap black yarn. And of course, you're going to need your tapestry needle. So I'll be using both my blunt and my pointy ones. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to get my bulky yarn onto my hook. Now, if you don't have bulky yarn, then just double up some worsted weight. And of course, you can do any colors you want. I'm using really neutral colors because I'm preparing for like a mom market. So I want them to be I want my pots to be kind of neutral so that they kind of work in any room. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to chain 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So, and I'm crocheting pretty loose here, guys. Like, so, you don't have to have really tight tension for this project. All right, so now I'm going to just slip stitch into the first stitch to make a loop, and now I've got the circle, and now all I'm going to do is single crochet around the circle. So just around the chain, I'm going to put in, is it 20 or 21? I think it works out to be 21 stitches around here. So yeah, so we'll just do that. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about these aloes as I'm doing my single crochet here. I'll scooch it over here so you can kind of keep it in the scene. But as I'm just single crocheting around here around the chain, I want to just tell you a little bit about these aloes. So I got an aloe from my grandma, I don't know, 25 years ago, and this aloe in the last, I don't know, like 5-10 years, it has been reproducing like crazy. So it just sends out all these babies, and it completely overwhelms the pot of the original aloe. So I love that. I've given away, I don't even know how many, like probably hundreds of babies to like the kids in the schools around here, because I'll send them over to the school, and then the teachers can use them for like Mother's Day gifts and stuff. So I just love that. I think that there's probably tons and tons of people in my town that have my grandma's aloe. So I just think that's a really neat little story. Okay, I've come to the end of my chain. We're going to work in continuous rounds, so don't worry about joining or anything like that. So just continue to single crochet around. Why don't we find out how many that was? Was that 20 or was it 21? Let's find out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It was 21. Okay. So there you go. For all of you who need to know the numbers, there you go. It was 21. So you'll notice if you follow along with some of my other tutorials, you will notice that I'm not exactly very precise crocheter when it comes to my projects. Now, writing patterns, that's a completely different thing. That has to be 100% precise and correct. There's a lot of math involved too. So yeah, so that's kind of an interesting little sidebar. But anyways, when I'm just making my own stuff, I'm not really paying attention too much. Now that, again, that kind of depends what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing kind of a intricate pattern, which I don't do very often, then that stuff has to be done. It has to be absolutely precise. But when I'm just doing my single crochet in the round, it's not precise. I'm not worrying too much about it. All right, so now I've finished my second round here. We're going to increase. So we've got 21 stitches on here. We're going to increase it to 24. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to single crochet for 7, and then we're going to add an increase on the 8th stitch. So we're going to do that 3 times. So let's do it together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now here's our increase. So an increase is just we're putting 2 single crochets into that next stitch, and that's 7 and 8. Wait a minute, hold on. I think I made a boo-boo, guys. That should have been, I'm gonna just frog it here. I'm gonna frog it back. That should have been single crochet 6 and then an increase, not 7. Sorry about that. Hope that didn't mess you up too much. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now here's the increase, 7 and 8. So we're going to land on 8 at the end of the increase. So that's 8. And now let's do that again. 9, 10, stitch 11, 12, 13, 14, and here's our increase. So for 15, 16, that's our increase. Let's increase one more time. So we'll go single crochet 6 followed by an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's our increase. This is taking us up to 24 stitches. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to just slip stitch. Actually, no, we're going to change color. So insert your hook into the next stitch and draw up a loop. So now you have two loops on your hook, and we're just going to fasten this off and bring in the next color. Now my next color is just, just this taupe color, and I'm using 2 strands. And I'm going to finish this single crochet with my new yarn. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw that up. And now I've finished that last single crochet, and let's just single crochet around. So that'll be 24 stitches with the new color. You can add, you can do these in any color combination, right? Like you can, if you've got a kid's room that, that you've done in, certain colors, you can do your plant pot in those colors. You can do a bunch of plant pots. You could line them all up on a windowsill or on a shelf. I think that would be cute. You could even use these little pots to hold things like crayons or pencil crayons, paintbrushes, candy, you name it. You name it. I should take a look here though. So 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters is what this says here. So they're just little, pots. And that's, that's kind of one of the beautiful things about this project is that because they're small and because we're doubling up our yarn, it's going to be a nice quick project. Okay, so now I've come around to the end. Well, I want to increase to 27 stitches here. This is going to be our last increase. So let's do that together. So we will single crochet 7 followed by an increase. we'll do that 3 times. So let's do it together. So single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here's our increase, 8, 9. Let's do it 2 more times. Stitch 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and here's our increase, 17, 18. And let's do it one more time. Stitch 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. All right, so here now we are going to just single crochet into each stitch around until we have 9 rounds of the new color. So that will be 12 rounds on our sleeve altogether. But I will, I'll pause recording and meet you back here when we have come to 9 rounds of the new color on here, and then we'll finish it up. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, here we are. We've come to the end. So now all we're going to do is we're going to just pull this through. I'm leaving about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches there. And I'm just going to trim it off and grab my blunt tapestry needle. And the reason why I'm getting my blunt one is because I don't need to do a precise stitch here. I just want to get this, this tail out of the way. And I'm going to just try to tuck it in and tie a knot just so it's out of the way here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to poke my needle right there, and then oops, hold on, let's get it all down there, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and get it sort of down here a little bit, and then I'll tie my knot just to get it out of the way, to hide that knot is what I'm trying to do. There we go, and I'll just trim this because I don't, just to get it out of the way. All right, so now what we need to do is add a little face. So I'll just put this, I'll put the back, all of this stuff, it's going to go back here. So we'll put the front of our face just on here, and we will start with black. And I've just already pre-cut a little piece of it, and I'm going to use my pointy tapestry needle. The reason why is because I want to poke my needle kind of through the yarn. So if I'm using my blunt one, it won't really poke through the yarn very well. It will poke through the spaces in between the stitches. So it does have its place, but I want, because this is so bulky, I don't want to poke it between the spaces, because then what might happen is my black yarn might get lost in this bulky yarn. But if I poke it into the actual yarn, it's not going to get lost in the yarn. And I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to poke it. Oops, sorry, can't see that. Can you? This is very shiny here. All right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well, but I'm going to poke it right in between, right there, which is right on top of a stitch. It's not in the space between the stitches. So I'm going to poke it there, pull it through, and then I'm going to just do an upside down V for one eye. And I'm really trying to make sure that I poke it not in between the stitches, because otherwise we're, like I said, we're going to lose it. I don't want to lose it. And then I'll poke it back up through the yarn up here. Okay, and then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and I'm going to do another eye. Oops. Okay, so there's my first one, and now I'm going to do another one just over here. And then what I'll do is my mouth, and I want my mouth to be really small and right in between the eyes here. Okay, so I'm going to be really careful and get it right between the eyes. And of course, I mean, if you want to use buttons or if you have safety eyes, this would be an okay project for safety eyes because there aren't going to be any kids playing with it. Same thing with buttons. It would be fine to use buttons or safety eyes on this. You just don't want to have babies chewing on those safety eyes. So I don't ever use them. Okay, there we go. So there's our nice little face, but we can't forget the cheeks, of course. But I'm just going to tie this off in a knot. So I'll just bring this tail over a bit closer to the original tail and then fasten it off. We don't have to be very careful back here because we're going to be, that'll be on the inside of the project. Okay, I'm going to grab some pink yarn for my cheeks. I always like to have way too much to start because I've learned the hard way about running out. Okay, and now for the cheeks, we are just going to, again, we're not gonna poke that needle in between the spaces between the stitches. We're gonna poke it through a stitch and just directly underneath the eye. And same thing over here. And we'll tie that off. Again, I'm going to just poke it through, just surface. You can kind of see how I'm poking it through the surface there. The reason why is because it seems to, I don't know, keep the stitches tighter somehow if I do that. So I'll do this. And now our next step is to get our little pot out. Just grab these out of the way. And we're going to just slip our pot in. And all of these tails that you can see there, we're going to make sure that those are tucked in. Just like that. And just like that. Now we're going to put in our glue. And again, I like to use this glue. It seems to work really well. And while I'm doing is I'm doing a strip around. And making sure that I get all the way around because I just don't want this to slip. Like I don't want it to, like someone goes to move their pot and they're like, you know, then it slips and then the pot falls and the plant, you know, falls out of the pot and there's dirt everywhere. I don't want that to happen. So there's that. And I'm making sure you'll notice here that I've got the rim. This is super shiny. I hope you guys can see this okay. I've got the rim kind of down a little bit because then it'll make sure that it sits really nicely. If the sleeve starts to cover the end, then it's going to get wobbly. So you want to just make sure that that you got the rim there at the bottom. And then we're going to do the same thing up here at the top with the glue. We're just going to make sure that we have lots of glue there. Keep it nice and secure. Whoops. Nice and secure. And then we're going to just pull it up because we want it to reach the top. Now we don't necessarily want it to go over the top like too much, but we want it, I want it a little bit higher than the edge there, just by like, you know, a millimeter. Okay, how's that look? I think that looks good. So there you go. There's your little adorable plant pot. And I think it came out super, super duper. And now you can go ahead and put in your plants, or you can use it for anything you want, really. So have a great day. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please do let me know. You can email me, send me pictures of your finished pieces, Instagram, Facebook. I love to see your finished Fat Lady projects. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day and we'll catch you later.